Hey everybody, Trey here. Welcome back to another video. It's been quite a quiet period over the last several days and really going back into much of May. It was quite an underwhelming May as far as tornado frequency and distribution across the US goes. But that may be about to change as we head into the next several days. We are going to undergo a very well advertised pattern change across the United States. We've been in a very persistent pattern that has been quite unfavorable for severe weather across much of the central and southern U.S. over the past several weeks. That is going to change, and we're gonna talk about why in this video. We're gonna show you what has been going on as far as the background pattern goes, and what will be happening as we go into the next several days, including as soon as tomorrow. We have an enhanced risk out for tomorrow for parts of the southern plains, southern Oklahoma, into northeast Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Not going to go too in-depth into this specific threat today. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow morning with a forecast discussion video on this particular threat. But I just wanted to do an overview video about what is going to be going on over the next several days that is going to bring us some severe weather. If you're any sort of weather enthusiast, you've probably seen it on Twitter. Everybody's been talking about this pattern change that is coming up, really centered on early next week. And so I wanted to do a little video on this here to show what has been happening as far as the background pattern goes and why we're going to be entering a perhaps significant uptick in severe weather over the next several days. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's show you what has been going on over the past really several weeks at this point. This is the 500 millibar map from the evening of June 6th. So I'm recording this on the morning of June 9th. So this is 3 days ago. And this gives you a really good picture about what we've been struggling with as far as a lack of widespread severe weather across the central and southern U.S. over the past several weeks. We have been stuck in what we call an omega block. And I'm sure that you've heard this if you have been on any social media this year. This has been sort of the buzzword, if you will, over the past several weeks, this omega block. An omega block occurs when you have a high amplitude ridge centered in between two troughs. So you see we have a trough here on the west coast and a trough here up in the northeast. And stuck in between that is this very high amplitude ridge of high pressure. And it's called an omega block because it is reminiscent of the Greek letter omega. You can see the shape there. This ridge makes that omega type shape there in between the two troughs. These omega blocks can be very stubborn. They can be very difficult to disintegrate. But over the next several days, we are expected to start disintegrating this ridge, and we'll start to see some more troughiness in really an April and May-like fashion here across the central and southern U.S. as this trough across the west coast will start to move inland a little bit and provide some little short waves even out ahead of it, and then this main trough will move in that will break down this ridge and eventually lead to a much more active jet stream across the central U.S. We'll show you what's going on today. This is the current SPC mesoanalysis here at 500 millibars. And you can see we've already started to really slightly start this process. So you can see that the omega block is still there. We see a little bit of a ridge of high pressure, but this northeastern low has really strengthened quite a bit. It has almost become a little bit larger in size, retrograded slightly here. You see this big old trough here in the northeast has maybe built back to the west just ever so slightly, and therefore we have seen a breaking down of this ridge. Also from this west coast trough that has moved inland a little bit, we start to see a little bit of strengthening in the flow here out across the desert southwest. That is going to make its way into the southern plains for today and tomorrow. For our threat tomorrow, this will be a very low amplitude feature, just a little shortwave out ahead of the main wave, as we prime ourselves for next week's severe weather stretch. So let's go ahead and show you what's going to happen tomorrow in the short term with this threat. So you'll see the initialization here on the 6Z NAM, 12Z not quite in yet. We do have this trough in the northeast, the ridge here over the southern plains, and this trough out here across the western portion of the country. Again, this ridge is going to continue to break down just a little bit as this trough kind of slides underneath the main ridge. We still have this ridge in place going into tomorrow going into today and tomorrow. but it's going to break down somewhat. And this little trough, this little belt of enhanced flow, little shortwave trough in here, is going to slide underneath the ridge and provide us with an impetus for severe weather going into tomorrow. You see a little bit of a shortwave there. This is midday Saturday. A little bit of a kink in the flow, a little bit of enhanced flow there across much of Texas. And we have our enhanced risk down there in Texas as well. Once again, not going to be focusing on this threat in depth today. We do have an all hazards threat for tomorrow, 2% tornado threat. Significant wind risk there, as well as a significant hail threat centered on the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Again, I hope to be back tomorrow morning with a more in-depth forecast video on tomorrow's threat. But overall, that is going to be the driving factor for tomorrow's threat. We have this ridge. It's going to break down slightly, and this little trough is going to slide underneath the ridge and provide a focus for severe weather. It will act upon a very moist air mass here. We zoom into the southern plains. This is typical June-like moisture across the plains. Very moist air mass, 70s dew points in those purples, all the way up into Kansas, down through much of Texas into the Gulf Coast states there. So a very, very moist air mass, very summer-like air mass, late spring to summer-like air mass here across the plains. Usually, we don't see these kinds of troughs, though, entering into the southern plains as we go into June. Usually, that's when your severe threat shifts northward into places like Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, the Dakotas, etc. But this is slightly unusual for this time of year, as we have this moist air mass that is usually in place. We have some flow aloft and some forcing for severe storms coming into the southern plains, which is abnormal in some sense. So that's what's going on tomorrow. And let's go on into the portion of next week that is expected to be active. The early to middle portion of next week is what folks have been focusing on. I've seen a ton of chatter on Twitter about June 13th and 14th, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Let's show you why we're going to be entering into a much more favorable stretch for severe weather. So there are still some model discrepancies to work out. We're going to look at the GFS and the European model. We'll look at the 6Z GFS. There's our most recent run on the GFS. We're going to look at the 0Z Euro. Unfortunately, the 6Z European model only goes out in 90 hours. So the 0Z is the last model run from the Euro that goes out 240 hours, so we can see into the medium range of our forecast. So we'll start with the GFS and just show you what is going to happen here. So again, we have this slight breakdown of the ridge here in the southern plains, a little bit of shortwave trough there, entering into the southern plains for tomorrow's threat. We start to maybe build back in this ridge across the southern plains going into the latter portion of the weekend. This omega block stays put. Again, these omega blocks are very hard to disintegrate unless you get a very strong trough that starts to make its way into and break down that ridge. And we see that with this trough here in the west coast. This northeast trough retrogrades quite a bit. Let me go back to the start here. You can see that the center of that trough in the northeast starts out over the northeast states, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, but it retrogrades back to the west just a little bit, or builds back into the west. At least a second portion here of this wave starts to break off and dig down to the southwest a little bit, and that is going to help break down the ridge. We have some stronger flow there into the Great Lakes states and into the Midwest by Monday. We still have this ridge in place, though. This omega block is in place still by Monday, but we start to really see that breakdown going into Tuesday. You see the ridge really loses its amplitude. We go from Monday morning, a decent ridge there across the southern plains. That really loses its amplitude there by Tuesday, and we get a much more zonal flow regime with several shortwaves embedded in the flow here across the southern plains. Now, this again is a little bit different from the European model, but the overall idea is the same, is that this ridge breaks down. We have much more zonal flow with these embedded shortwave troughs entering into the southern portion of the continental U.S., and that is why we're going to see an uptick in severe weather. This omega block finally breaks down a little bit, and we have a much stronger flow aloft with these shortwave troughs entering the southern portion of the U.S. to help us out and give us some severe weather potential going into next week. Let's look at the European model to show you that we have a slight difference in the depiction of the trough. Most people have been focusing on Tuesday, June 13th for quite a while now across Oklahoma and Texas. If we were to believe the GFS here, let me go back a little bit. GFS not really showing a super robust severe threat across the southern plains for that time for Tuesday. We do have some stronger flow aloft, maybe a little bit of an embedded shortwave there. Still a bit of ridging to deal with, just slight ridging there across the southern plains. Slightly mistimed, more progressive shortwave than what the European model is showing. Let's show you what the Euro model is showing here. Again, this is the 0Z model, so yesterday evening's European model run. Same idea, same general idea. This portion of this northeast trough digs down a little bit, and we have that help to break down the ridge. And then this west coast trough makes its way in, breaks down the ridge as well. So this is Tuesday, and again, we still see quite a bit of ridging aloft here. Not quite a bit, just a little bit of ridging aloft. We have broken down the amplitude of that ongoing ridge quite a bit. We still have a little bit of ridging to deal with here across the southern plains here, but still enhanced flow aloft could be just enough, maybe some little kinks in the flow there to help initiate severe storms on Tuesday. But Wednesday is going to be the much more robust day, at least what the European model is showing right now. Much more well-defined shortwave here out into Oklahoma, North Texas, acting upon a very moist air mass. Surface low out here as well into southwest Oklahoma, northwest Texas. And ahead of that, this College of DuPage does not have dew points here, but we can use our theta E, that mixture of temperature and moisture, to show us where our warm sector is. Very tight-looking warm sector there, dry line up into Oklahoma, moisture tongue feeding up into that surface low. That could be an impetus for severe storms out here across southern Oklahoma into North Texas on Wednesday, June 14th. So the GFS a little bit more progressive. We can show you what the GFS is showing for Tuesday and Wednesday here. Tuesday does have a very nice dry line out here across Texas into southern Oklahoma. So again, we could see a few severe storms there, but both the GFS and the European model showing that Wednesday might actually be the day. Here is a Wednesday. We see a little bit tighter dry line, a little bit better moisture out ahead of that dry line. Ample 70s dew points out there in Oklahoma into North Texas, and that could be the main day for severe weather. GFS has been much more progressive than the European model so far. But the overall idea is the same, that we will be entering into a prolonged period of increased chances for severe weather. And if we go back to our GFS and just take you through the rest of the run, this could stay put for quite a while. Again, this is a very April or May-like pattern here, upper air pattern across the plains. We're still not seeing those super deep digging troughs that we often see in May across the plains, but we do have now a return to some stronger flow aloft across the southern half of the U.S. with some embedded shortwaves. That is just enough to get severe storms chances to increase here across this area of the country. And you can see as we go into the latter portion of the week, GFS showing another shortwave trough here with ample moisture in place out ahead of it, and that should continue at least to some extent, maybe some northwest flow events in there, but we do see a return to a much more active jet stream here across the country as we go into this portion of June. More shortwaves there. We also will have to watch out for any tropical troubles here. That could also play a role in severe weather chances down the road, is if we have any tropical systems in the Gulf. The GFS, as a caveat, does like to do this all the time, puts up these spurious tropical cyclones here in the Gulf. But it is that time of year. The Gulf is definitely baking, and we may have some upper troughs some upper flow enter the Gulf, some cold fronts or some frontal zones enter the Gulf, try to spin up some convection there. So we always have to be on alert here the early portion of the season. If we get any of these remnant systems into the Gulf, they could regenerate into tropical systems. The GFS likes to do this way too much, so this is probably going to end up being spurious, but it is something to note. It has been fairly consistent, and we could see some tropical development here in the Gulf at some point in the future, going into the latter half of June. That could play a role in the severe weather chances across the country in the long term, as if we have tropical system in the Gulf, the northerly flow on the west side of that tropical system likes to scour that moisture out into the Gulf, and we could see a decrease in overall moisture here. GFS on this particular run tries to build in that ridge across the southwest. There's lots of northwesterly flow here across the central and central to northern U.S. Could be some northwest flow type late spring, early summer events up there. But the overall idea is pretty favorable if you are a storm chaser. We're going to see a breakdown of this omega block here across the country, this ridging in the middle portion of the country, going to break down finally, and we're finally going to have some stronger flow impinge into the southern portion of the U.S. with some embedded shortwaves acting on a very moist air mass, moist late spring to summer type air mass here with upper 60s to 70s dew points for an uptick in severe weather threats starting as early as tomorrow, and then more likely going into early to mid next week. So I just wanted to do a quick video on why we're going to see an uptick in severe weather over the next several days. SBC has highlighted risks for today, just a marginal risk for Friday, June 9th. June 10th, our most potent day so far, enhanced risk across North Texas. Again, an all hazards threat with that, as that little shortwave trough slides under the ridge momentarily here across the southern plains. Again, I hope to be back tomorrow morning with a full forecast discussion on tomorrow's threat. And then we have a slight risk for day 3 as that stronger flow moves off to the east. The ridge will regenerate going into the late portion of the weekend, very early next week, before that trough finally starts to break down that ridge and we get to a much more troughy, more active jet stream there across the southern half of the country. SBC has yet to outline any risk areas here for next week, as there is, again, still some model discrepancy to work out and some caveats to work out. But it does appear that we will be going into a more active jet stream pattern going into next week, and that will mean an uptick in severe weather chances across the central and southern U.S. Starting early into the middle portion of next week. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.